Okay, so
Okay, that brings us to incoherence and Paradise Lost. Would anyone like to cover this page with me? Maybe Susie, would you be willing?
Incoherence and Paradise Lost. What is dark within me, illumine. John Milton, Paradise Lost. Accepting that communication is the result of what is said and done leads me to recognize that language works karmically, as per cause and consequence. On
Hey,
that
Susie,
note, yes.
can we just pause on the first sentence there? Because I hear it as an interesting deepening of what we just looked at relative to communication. So, Susie or anybody, what do you hear out of the idea of language working karmically? How does that connect to communication?
For me, I kind of see it as like the language is alive, and when we speak it, it literally. I almost see it like invisible code, like it goes out to
Yeah,
the world and it's just like moving stuff around.
yeah. And to build off of Anna's exercise, what I heard in that example was there is at least some place where there's an unconscious narrative, a language, and it's producing a karmic result, a cause and effect. So we'll speak more of that, but please continue.
On that note, while the Hebrew alphabet was given as the law, I will soon see how the Ten Commandments are really prompted by the first 10 letters of the alphabet. I never received it as such. This is how I experience a loss of paradise, since I stop reading myself, not having the tools to do so.
This might be a good pause again. So instead of reading a book, I'm hearing the invitation is to read my results.
I think also sometimes we never really stop to check in with ourselves internally and see what atmosphere is creating what atmosphere on the outside, you know?
Mm-hmm. I'm curious what you make of the Ten Commandments and what was hinted at with that second sentence about where we're going with the alphabet.
I mean, Ten Commandments are they're things to rule our lives by or guidelines, you know, in a way.
Hmm. Anyone else have insights, questions, comments so far?
Um, if I could, is the Ten Commandment thing regarding how, like, if you choose to violate those, everything else will be confusing and separation? Like, so like if you don't get the fundamentals of the language right, you don't get the fundamentals of the commandments right, everything else will be off.
Well, that's a beautiful point, Emily. And yeah, what I'm hearing you hint towards and what we looked at last week and the week before is a new way to understand law. In other words, law would be akin to knowing what to do in order to achieve health, whether it's with our career or with our health or with our family. There is a law. And often we find ourselves going against that law. And so long as I look as the scriptures outside of me, law will be outside of me and I'll become a lawbreaker. So what we're beginning to hint towards is a use of language that's all about results and what it is that we get being a direct result of our own communication. And so if we look at the Bible, of course, the Ten Commandments are one of the most important things that all religions talk about, and every religion has similar variants. Do not kill, etc. Do not steal. These ideas are the external reflection, and we're looking at a reconciliation to the internal. So did that give you more on that, Emily?
Yeah, definitely.
Please continue, Susie.
Unaware of my true intentions, I create a disconnection from love and distance my heart's desires. To reconnect, I have, among other clues, the letters PRDS of paradise. These form an acronym synergizing 4 ways to understand the self: the body sensing practically, the soul feeling its reflection, the mind thinking of the difference, and the heart intuiting the secret. When these 4 expressions work as one, I feel worthy of succeeding in my creation. But what happens when they are dissociated?
Any insights or questions, Susie, or anyone?
I'm still absorbing that.
So, which part are you focused on?
Seeing how they all fit together. Like, not that I don't understand it, but like the practicality of being in your body to experience the world. The soul really is here to find its reflection, right? The mind thinking of difference, and the heart, in a way, always wants unity.
Yeah.
And the heart is kind of always wanting to sing the cosmic song,
Maha, go ahead.
secret.
You had a comment?
Well, I just was Susie reading it. The body sensing practicality. So time to get up, time to go to sleep. Those are very practical concepts, and they can make indeed a world of difference. The soul feeling its reflection is what Anna just did when she was imagining her parents' reaction. It's her own reflection. As for the mind, thinking of the difference between what we can change and what we can't. I went through an experience for the past 10 days of grieving the death of who may be the dearest of my family members, and thinking of the difference between what I can change. I can choose peace, and but I can't change the decision of the angel that departed. And the secret is how to put those 3 together so that the 4 would work as one.
Mm-hmm.
And when I know that I am true to my body, to my soul, and to my mind, and that the heart helps me in unfolding that truth, then I naturally feel worthy. I feel like I am enough. So that's how, and by the way, paradise comes from a Hebrew word, and PRDS are 4 Hebrew words that happen to be matched perfectly in practicality, reflection, difference, and secret. So that's what we're working on, this unity of body, the mind-body connection, and the love that the heart has for the soul, and vice versa, the soul for the heart. So on this next page, we're going to look at the stages of Paradise Lost. When we resist darkness to the extent that we don't really know what we want. Such ambivalence says that the decision, and Anna, are you okay if I keep on speaking of your, what you're working on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
So such ambivalence says that the decision in this case, to become American, and please put your own work there, is yet to be made. So the doubt now diverts my energy, sending me on bogus searches in conflicting direction and causing me to lose momentum. Okay, so we're going to look at those stages and